Well, Fox News exclusive reporting on the deadly attack on the U.S. consulate and annex in Libya includes information showing that CIA operators in the region were denied requests for help, and that is raising questions about whether or not the deaths of those 4 Americans could have been prevented. Joining us now to discuss the new developments is Fox News national security analyst and host of Fox News Live's DEFCON 3, KT McFarland. Thank you so much for your time today.
Pleasure, Shannon.
All right, KT, you've heard the reporting we've had from Jennifer Griffin and others explaining what we know so far. Based on what we're hearing from the administration and our own reporting and internal sources, do you think, as Senator McCain said this morning, it's one of the worst cover-ups he's seen in his lifetime?
Yeah, it's definitely a cover-up. Somebody's lying. The president said, we will take all measures. He gave the go-ahead. The State Department has said, well, we're not sure. The Defense Department has said, fog of war, and the CIA has said nobody made any requests of us that we did not, or we didn't turn anything down. So yeah, somebody's lying. There were requests made, and somebody denied the requests. And they didn't do it once, they did it 3 times. And they didn't do it quickly, they did it over a period of 7 hours. So this is a cover-up. Now, I've been in the White House during cover-ups. I was in the White House in the Nixon administration during the Watergate scandal and cover-up. I was at the Pentagon during the Iran-Contra scandal and cover-up. What happens in these cover-ups, Shannon, is there's a predictable pattern. First, there's a real screw-up of policy, and in this case, a massive screw-up. And then the administration, particularly in the White House, says, we don't want to have a fallout here that's going to affect the president politically. So they throw a lot of dust up in the air, so nobody knows what happened. You're not sure who's at fault, who's to blame, whose responsibility. But eventually that dust settles, and then people start looking around for who to blame. That's the point at which we are now. But ultimately, the career professionals, whether it's the Foreign Service officers, the military, the intelligence officers, somebody from the career civil service comes out as whistleblower. That's what happened with Watergate, and my guess is that that's what is happening now and will continue to happen. We will find out who gave those orders, but we may not find out soon.
What do you think could be the timeline for that? Because we are getting new information from our sources every day, but there are so many puzzle pieces, and as you try to put them together, we're still missing a few.
You're missing a few because there are a couple of things that happened. We now know there was an Delta force or a rescue force equivalent in Sicily. It could have been there in 2 hours. They were ready to go. They were not told to go. Now, they could have been told, even if they didn't know what their ultimate mission is, they could have been deployed. They could have been there just in case. You know, look at what you've just talked about with the storm coverage of Hurricane Sandy. People all over all over the East Coast of the United States, they're preparing for something. They don't know what's going to happen, but they're preparing. That's not what happened in the case of the Benghazi raid. People weren't prepared in advance while it was ongoing. There were emails, there were telephones, emails, cell phone, and a drone, surveillance drones. Nobody was confused about what was going on. The confusion was, why didn't they deploy? And the other point is, were those drones, there were 2 drones, were they armed drones? Could they have been used?
All right, KT McFarland, we always appreciate your experience and insight on these measures of national security.